was love at first sight, because I was. But, you know, she just shared pottery with me because at the time I had a German Shepherd that was allergic to life, everything, the air you breathe, everything. And, you know, I fell in love with the products, I fell in love with the company, and I was like, I have to be a part of it. And, let's see, where was I going with this? I have my notes here. But yeah, so I fell in love with the company, and yeah, this company just truly changed my entire family's lives. And but I know as pet pros, like, you know, we help pets. That's our sole mission. But this right here, establishing those long-term friendships, the way that Chris and I have, the way Tim and I have, that's what pottery is really all about. Creating those relationships and connections. So that's just a little bit about my backstory, and I wanted to share that with you because it played a huge role into how I achieved the biggest goal I had ever set for myself, and that was earning the paw trip to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico that I went on in May. So yeah, it was a blast, right? Who was all here? Who went to paw trip this room? Yeah, look at us all. This is great. It was great. So when it was announced last pawFest, I just knew that this was it. This was my chance to prove to myself, to accomplish something that I just never done before, and be able to also give my husband a gift that I have never been able to before, you know, because as I mentioned before, we move every 1 to 2 years, so I've never felt like I could be the provider of the family or accomplish anything, like I said, in a job or career, build myself up. I just odd end jobs wherever I went. So this was extremely important to me when it was announced, and I said, you know, it's in my control. I can make this happen, and I just wanted it really bad. So it was important to me, and by golly, I did it, didn't I? But I think the most important aspect when anyone sets a goal for themselves is having a deadline. If you don't have that deadline, you don't have anything to push towards. You have a time frame. You need to get something done. So I knew for pawFest, or excuse me, the paw trip, I had 6 months, and I had to accomplish X, Y, Z to get there. And I worked day to day, week to week, month to month, you know, what is it that I had to do? And so I created roadmaps every single day, week, month, like this has to be accomplished to get to this step. Now that I hit this, now I have to do this. So I worked really hard, you know, just planning in detail what I needed to do. But not only that, I tried to hit every monthly incentive that Pottery put out there. As an example, it was back in like October, November, there was that incentive where if you got 2 pet pros to reach 500 in personal volume by November 30th, they would earn their entire enrollment kit cost back for free, and I would earn those points to go on the pod trip in that specific category. And out of all the pet pros that signed up those months, I knew I had 2 people that were driven and motivated to earn their kit back, because it was back then, wasn't it? We had the kits that was $25, $50, and what was the ultimate? Oh, so it's like $300. So I had my 2 pet pros that were driven. They were like, well, I just spent $300 on this. Yeah, I want to earn it back for free. So they were driven to earn that back. So they had their own little motivational drive there. And then I needed that, so I worked with them day to day with the people that were willing, motivated to get what they wanted. I worked, like I said, what is it they need? What is it they wanted? Their situations in their daily lives. Let's create a roadmap for them. What do you need? And I helped them achieve that, which gave me the points I needed for that trip. So that's just a little bit about me and a goal that I set for myself and the things that I felt were most important. You know, deadline, creating a roadmap, you know, working with your team, and I achieved it. So, like I said, that's just a little bit about me, but let's hear from Tim. Woo!
I'm gonna read most of mine because I really forget things when I'm in front of people. So.
We're all here, it's
I know.
okay.
But I'm Tim Hargett, as you know, and I just promoted to VP at the end of June. And I've actually been with Pottery for just over a year and a half, though I've only been actively working in building since January. A little bit about myself: I'm a hobby breeder of the gorgeous breed called Samoyeds, and I was introduced to pottery by a cold call from a groomer of one of the puppies I had sent home. I had always been looking for additional ways to make income ever since I had been put in a position to support my family from age 17. So that was, I had my eyes open for things like this all the time. So when she called me, she told me about pottery. It took me maybe 15 minutes to decide I was on board with this. And I jumped right in, though I probably only did things the first month and then I kind of fell by the wayside. But let's see here, where I am. In January of this year, I went to Legacy, and that is actually when I got the fire lit under me to actually start working.
It's because he met all of us.
Exactly. And it really is true. I thank so many people, because so many people like that picture. So many people have created the paths before us, and so we do have that ability to run faster. And it's been amazing. It honestly has been. There's so many people I've thanked here, like Krista and Dee and Christy Diaz. You guys all have helped me so much, so it's awesome. But anyways, in January I went to Legacy, and I started doing things finally. So it was then and there that I set my goal, and that was to be vice president by the end of this year. And so the thing about setting a goal that size is you will need
Or
to create
sooner.
a roadmap with smaller goals set in place to help you aim towards that larger goal. Obviously, you don't want to say, I'm going to be VP next month if your pet pro, or you can, but it just depends upon how well you're.
I don't know, Brett Weber might be able to
Exactly.
do it.
So when setting a goal, once you decide to actually go for it, just throw all those excuses away and just consistently aim towards it. If you do this, you will continually move forward, and it really does change everything. It's seriously amazing. For me, it started in January with at least reaching my pay title level of director. Also, at this time, I had set a goal to get a minimum of 500 every single month after being at Legacy, which is a great way to consistently build your business. If you haven't heard that yet, that's consistent growth, and that's residual income for the future. It's amazing. So I did that. Let's see here, where I am. Okay, yeah, I got my 500, and I was able to get to director pay title in January. And then after that, I set a goal to be a senior director by the end of February. I worked really hard to hit that, and I was able to achieve that. In fact, I only hit it 2 minutes before midnight on the last day.
Nice.
So after that, I was dead set, because that momentum, I got to director, and then I got to senior director, well, pay title director. Senior director, I was dead set on promoting to executive director the very next month. But that goal I did not achieve as I had planned it. But one thing I learned was to stack your months. Sort of just for, I don't know if you ever heard the term stacking your months before, but it's sort of just keeping that momentum that you have going at the end of the month, rolling into the new month, so you're going to be much further and closer to that goal by the next month to where you would have been if you didn't do that. So I actually did that in March and in April. And it's super easy.
I don't know what that means. I don't understand that.
So just keeping that momentum, like, at the end of the month, you're pushing towards a goal. You're really, really pushing. So if you keep that same mentality and don't let yourself get discouraged, and you keep that going through the beginning of that next month, you're going to be much further by the end of that month than where you were otherwise.
Okay.
Or like if you're going to become a senior pet pro, if you get your 150 this month, but your remainder 3 months are 0, 0, 0. No, you want that 150 every single month.
Right.
You want it continually rolling over, and that helps you stack and build.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so instead
Gotcha.
of just getting discouraged about it,
Yeah.
just keep your eyes on that large goal and follow your roadmap that you set in place, and don't lose sight of what your goal is. This actually created a huge momentum where I would get right back to where I was much earlier in the month. And another thing to think of when setting your goals is to go until you reach it, no matter what. And if you don't if you don't reach that rank up at the exact time you were hoping to, so what, you can do it next month or the month that you can still do it. So if you don't reach that at the time, don't be hard on yourself. Let's see here. So one of my favorite statements actually and I don't remember where I heard this at, but it's my favorite statement ever in this business, and that is a setback is a setup for a comeback. And that's like my favorite statement. So another small goal that I had set was to try my best to hit the monthly incentives Pottery had set before us. For instance, in March we had the magic hat, which was awesome, by the way, and wheel drawings. And I set a goal to have a new entry in the wheel drawing every single week, which meant I needed to have a 1+5, which is a 1 new pet pro, 5 new paw clubs every single week. And that actually helped me achieve 5 + 25 in March and win a MacBook Air, which has helped my business immensely. I was just on it we were going over, and I had it last night. It's like, this is so cool that I have this. So it wasn't until the beginning of May, when Pottery came out with the Paw Up campaign, that I decided I would be VP by the end of June. And at this time, I also started working a whole lot more with my team and making my own small incentives to help excite them, because in order to reach your goals, especially those higher ranks, you need to help your team and support your team to reach their goals. And doing whatever I can to help support their success was just, it was awesome. That's my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about Pottery is seeing my team succeed, and I just love it. It's better, when I see them rank up, it feels better than when I do, so. So before June even, well, I hit executive director in the end of May, and that was actually due, this was before Leslie's Young talked on three-way calls. But in May, I sort of by accident came across the three-way calling, and that completely doubled my team in May. It was incredible. That took my momentum into June, which was, I mean, you know, June was a huge month, and that was just, going into that already day was really awesome.
He literally invented the three-way calling. It's like, that's our new thing. It's three-way calling. Thanks, Ted.
So before June even started, I began to plan and set my sights on VP by the end of June. So I started June with a bang, and once the momentum starts rolling, it's extremely beneficial to keep that fuel on that fire and keeping it rolling. Also, when you have the mindset that something is going to happen, it's crazy to see just what you can actually get done. There was actually a point in June where I thought I wouldn't be close enough to VP to even push, but then I decided to just push past that feeling, and I talked to Amber quite a bit during that month. She was awesome. But I pushed past that feeling, and my numbers and volumes at the end of that month were far higher than what I needed to hit VP, and that was really exciting to me. So I do have an incredible team, and they also know how to set goals and reach them. So the cool thing about being in a business we're in is that anything you do today, that's setting you up for the future, and it really gives residual growth. So anything you do 6 months ago that you're still seeing that today, and you do today, you're going to see 5, 10 years down the road. So it's really cool. Another thing, let's see here. So a positive mindset added along with a roadmap that has a clear path, so you know what you're aiming for, really helps you go a long way.
Woo!
Okay, so now that you guys have heard from us, we would really like to direct our attention to you and help you figure out, your goals, help you create your roadmap. So we have passed out a sheet of paper, and I just have to say,